So it's been a while since we've done a video about pro wrestling. I've done my Reign of Terror video, who's his worst, Roman Reigns or Triple H's. Click that card if you want to go back and watch that. A lot of people have tended to agree that Roman's is still the current king of the Reign of Terror because we're 1 year out, he's still champion. So yeah, give me some more advice on that. But I want to have another video. We're going to go back and do a top 5 here. And I'm going to talk about top 5 rules or adherence to rules that maybe some pro wrestling matches should start doing in the year 2023 and 2024 and beyond. I could get better intros. What's up, guys? Johnny Chase here. Welcome back to the club, where today I'm going to be counting down 5 rules that I would like to see changed in pro wrestling. So, pro wrestling, when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. Right now, for pro wrestling and pro wrestling fans, we're eating pretty good. We've got 2 ginormous companies. We've got a lot of smaller companies right now. There is plenty of wrestling to enjoy, whether you want WWE, AEW. Hey, if you're still kicking around with Impact Wrestling, they're still around. Tony Khan saved Ring of Honor, and it's its own entity, but yeah, there's still some crossover with AEW. I mean, you know, it being his 2 companies, you know, he's got the freedom to do that. But yeah, we are sitting really pretty now with pro wrestling, and it's just getting better and better. I mean, look at AEW All In. They almost sold out, I should say, Wembley Stadium. Over 80,000 paid fans. Remember, British YouTubers will let you know that most of those numbers are fudged. But yeah, 80,000 paid fans at AEW All In. You know, WWE still doing great. Impact is still on life support. I don't know how this company just will not go under. But hey, what I was thinking about the other day is that, man, there are a lot of great match types. Great ways to end stories, but a lot of them don't just gel well, and there's a lot of times where they will bend the rules to fix certain story elements, and a lot of those don't really make a whole lot of sense. So I've compiled a list of 5 match types that they really need to either adhere to the rules that they set, maybe get a set of rules, or even do some modifications. I'm going to explain in my first pick here. So in no particular order, these are my 5 changes I would do to pro wrestling matches and rule types. So the first match type I want to talk about is the Royal Rumble. Now, specifically the Royal Rumble itself. I mean, we could probably throw in the AEW's Casino Battle Royale as well, because it's a similar format where entries come in every set amount of time. Now, I love the Royal Rumble. It's one of like my favorite pay-per-views of the year. It's one of the most exciting matches because of all the returns, the surprises, you know, maybe not even guessing who's going to win it. There used a time that we would have watch parties and we would draw numbers to see who would win the Rumble match. And in all those times and all those parties, I don't think anyone ever won, just because of the unpredictable nature of the Royal Rumble. Now, we all know the rules. I mean, the ring announcers announce it all the time. You know, 2 guys start every X amount of time, or, you know, secret of the trade. They don't wait for the time. They wait for the next high spot. Then they hit the 10 count. You know, you have 30 participants get in, you know, go over the top rope. Both of you have to hit the floor, and the last guy standing gets shot at WrestleMania. Now, there's a few other rules that a lot of them don't really adhere to. There are times when, you know, we had the Shawn Michaels rule, because yes, he was thrown out, but only one of his feet hit the floor. There's the time that Macho Man purposely eliminated himself to go after Jake Roberts, but they just let it slide. There was an incident in '96 where Vader came in after being eliminated and eliminated a bunch of people. Gorilla Monsoon just said, nope, all those guys he threw out, they get to go back in. And therein lies the big rule I want changed for the Royal Rumble. If you are eliminated, you cannot come in and eliminate someone else. That's one of the dumbest rules I've ever seen, is to say, oh, it doesn't matter how you go over the top rope, as long as you go over the top rope and your feet hit the floor, you are eliminated. It's like, yeah, but there's gotta be some type of precedence where if the guy who was eliminated You get him out of the ring. Also too, they really had to have some type of count. So like if you go in between the top and Brett's rope, or you slide under the ring, the other, like, there's like 4 refs around. Why can't any of them count those guys out? That's another thing I would like to see change with the Royal Rumble. You guys have 10 seconds to get into the ring once Kevin Dunn turns your theme music off. If you don't, you're disqualified or you're out. Because like there's always that rule that goes around, like if a guy like Curtis Axel or R-Truth gets taken out at the entryway, that person takes over, and then you get the memes of, well, he was never officially exited from the Royal Rumble, so he's technically still in the match. The match is still going on. No. It's good. Like, you know, let's stop playing into that. Like, theme music hits, get in the ring. If you don't, you're out. Well, I think they would ever implement that rule? No. I mean, they're so loose when it comes to, like, you know, feet hitting the floor, as we've seen from, like, you know, spots with Trinity, Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, especially Kofi Kingston. There was the time that he wasn't eliminated because one of his feet hit a plate of pancakes. And we got that great Matthew quote, pancakes do not equal floor. But yeah, like the timer of people coming in, people that were eliminated, or people that weren't even officially in the match can't eliminate anyone else. Yeah, those are some like little rule changes I'd like to see done for the Royal Rumble. Okay, so I'm gonna lump these two match types together. So ladder / Ultimate X from Impact Wrestling. So any match where it involves something on top in the middle of the ring. Now there's a bunch of great botches in Ultimate X matches where this kind of comes into play. So the premise of these types of matches is to, you know, ascend to the middle of the ring and grab said object, whether it be title belt, briefcase, or in TNA's example, an actual physical X. A lot of people get mad at the very first ever women's Money in the Bank match because people say that it was, you know, won by a man. James Ellsworth climbed up, grabbed the briefcase, and gave it to Carmella, and then that was the end of the match. I mean, technically speaking, in the rule book, it does say that the purpose is to grab the object. It doesn't say how to grab the object. Case in point, WrestleMania 2000. Did Edge and Christian win the tag titles using a ladder? Yes and no. They used a contraption of 2 ladders and a table to ascend and grab the belts. I mean, like, technically speaking, they did not climb a ladder to grab said belts. Technically, they shouldn't be the tag team champions. And I go back to this point with the Ultimate X match because there is an infamous match where the X just kept falling down. And instead, and I give all credit in the world to Al Snow for calling this out, the premise of the match is to grab the X. Then why, when the X fell down, no one leaped over to grab the X? I'll tell you why. Because they had 4 or 5 more high spots to do and they wanted to get their shit in. It wasn't until I think the second or third time when the X was teetering down, Petey Williams, being the smart wrestler that he is, hung underneath the X, waited for it to drop and grab it. He technically won the match. Doesn't matter if he climbed the jungle gym ropes to get it. He just got it. But no, they had to redo the match again on free TV, as well as the women's Money in the Bank. They gave that shit away from free TV. It's like, if you have an idea, just stick with it. Just, you know, that's one of the things I kind of wish would happen with ladder matches. Is like, as long as they get the item, it doesn't matter if they climbed up and got that epic shot, because you can always just climb up and get your epic shot later. A lot of cases of this. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, first ever pay-per-view ladder match. He fell down because he had to grab both IC belts, managed to get back up, hold them up high, all triumphant. So yeah, that's my number 2, is just be more consistent in these types of capture matches, whether it involves ladders or Ultimate X's. And also, on the concept of Money in the Bank, if you're a champion and someone's cashing in on you, kick him in the dick. Because guess what? When the bell rings, you kick him in the dick, you don't lose your title, you don't look like a chump. And this would be the perfect chance for someone who's a face and getting cashed in on to turn heel. Kick your opponent in the dick, get a DQ, they burn their Money in the Bank. Now you can set up a program with them. You can have that one for free, WWE. Okay, so for number 3, we're going to be talking about Hell in a Cell. Now, you might be saying, well, Hell in a Cell, I mean, it's just basically a large cage match. There's no DQ, there's no, countouts, nothing like that. So what problem do you have with the Chase? I'll tell you, for the last couple of years, they've ended in no contests. Anything involving Brock Lesnar. The most, I think, egregious one was in the last, 3 years with the late, great Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins. Ref stoppage because of overuse of a hammer. An editor correct me here with titles if I get this wrong, but wasn't this the one where Sean Waltman was just basically called them out during their watch along, said, I don't think you're going to invite me back to one of these, but how the hell do you have a DQ in a Hell in a Cell match?
You may not ask me back for another one of these, but how the hell do you get DQ in the Hell
Did
in
he get
the
DQ'd or
frickin'
to stop the match?
Hell in a Cell is supposed to be a feud ender. I know you guys have problems ending these types of matches because of the PG era, and you're not supposed to have copious amounts of blood, and Hell in a Cell matches have been famously known for that. Also from chucking people off the top of the cell or through the cell. Other than just ending it and just saying oh, we can't come up with a good winner. We booked ourselves into a corner. Just end it. No, that just that's the one thing I want is stop booking Hell in a Cell matches like that. I think the last few I dip in and out of WWE for a while, and I don't watch full matches when I can. But I think the last few have been half decent. So keep on that track and don't have Hell in a Cell matches and just disqualifications. Okay, so number 4 are steel cage matches. Now you're saying, well, steel cages have been around for decades. What do we need to change about that? Well, sticking to one consistent rule set. Because depending on the feud, depending on the finish, you can go either way. So traditionally, steel cage match ends when someone gets out of the cage and their feet hit the floor, or they go out the door and the feet hit the floor. That's it. That's the end of the match. There have been instances, though, where steel cage matches will end in pinfall or submission inside the ring. And then there are times where it's both. So all I'm asking for is some consistency. You see that steel cage come down from the rafters and everyone's setting it up. We just need to know one thing. How does this end? Do you go over the top? Do you win by pinfall or submission? We need full-on rules to say okay, we need some writer to come in and say, okay, a steel cage match ends like this. Over the top of the cage and your feet hit the floor. Or is it the pinfall or submission? Or can we have it both? Just have some consistent rules in there so that no fan has to question. It's okay, what type of steel cage match is this going to be? That's all I'm asking for in steel cage, is a little consistency. So for an honorable mention, this is just have to do with multi-man matches. So triple threats, fatal 4-ways. Ref, if there's a double or triple down, why are you counting everyone down? I actually, when I refed a few matches, little known fact of me, I worked independent shows in my region any way I could, music, sound, reffing, announcing. I was even an authority figure at one point. There was one time I refed a match. It was a triple threat match, one fall to a finish, so no eliminations. They said, okay, we're gonna have a triple down, and they kept calling on me to start counting them. I said, I can't count 3 people at the same time. Okay, let's think about this legitimately. If it's a triple threat and I count one person out as being out, who gets the victory? This guy's out, it's not an elimination. I know in this world of pro wrestling where everything's fake and predetermined, you still have to have a sense of logic to things. This is why I'm making this list. It's I'm trying to inject a little bit more logic into how things go. And finally, for my number 1 pick, reverse matches. Now, as far as I can tell, Impact Wrestling TNA does not do these types of matches anymore, because I don't understand in the realm of pro wrestling, it's hard to be innovative and to come up with new ideas that will stick, or modifying old ideas. Case in point, in the early days of TNA, they tried to reverse everything. The King of the Mountain match, it's a reverse ladder match, meaning instead of climbing up the ladder to grab the belt, you have to climb up the ladder and hang the belt. But wait, you just can't just do that. No. You have to get a pinfall or submission on one of the other participants to be eligible to take said belt up to ladder. But then also that person you pin, they have to sit in 2 minutes in a penalty box that's on the outside of the ring. And like putting too many rules and stuff, that'll break wrestling fans' brain. So yeah, that reverse ladder match was not a great idea. You know what was even worse? The Fight for the Right reverse battle royal. So let me paint this picture for you if you've never seen this match. So everyone is outside of the ring. You have to get back into the ring, but only if you go over the top rope and then land into the ring. So there's about 20 wrestlers around this ring, right? 8 of them get in. Okay, well, now we move on to phase 2, and phase 2 turns into a regular battle royal, which means you have to throw your opponent over the top and both feet hit the floor. Then when there's 2 guys left, a ref slides in, and now it's a one-on-one match and you can do whatever. Now, Impact has a big problem with battle royals. They just can't end a battle royal traditionally with 2 guys left, throwing them over the top rope. When there's 2 guys left, they just have to turn into a regular match. It's like nobody wants to see. If we want a regular match, we'll watch a regular match. Like we want to see with a battle royal or a Royal Rumble. That's just the gimmick of it, is just to throw the guy over. Why do we have to add in regular a regular wrestling match? And also on that reverse battle royal, don't tout for weeks that the winner of this thing is #1 contender when on the day of you just turn it into, oh, the top 8 get put into a tournament and your seed is placed on how you get eliminated or who you eliminated. Like if the premise is just like, if people knew that, then the premise to get over the top rope would be more enticing. Once you're in the top rope, like if you're like James Storm or Eric Young or whoever else was in that, like who cares if you got eliminated out of that? I'm still in this tournament. I don't fucking care. Yeah, toss me out. Just save my body before I had to, wrestle you in 2 weeks in the Impact Zone. But yeah, reverse matches. I'm so glad they don't do it anymore. But if they do, like if there's a booker there in Impact that wants to bring this back, like simplify your rules and don't give your audience a headache. All right, so that was my top 5 list of match types and rule types I'd like to see changed for the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this little rambling about pro wrestling again. If you do like it, please leave a like, give us a subscribe here on the channel. We're so close to 1,000 subs. I can almost taste it. But until then, I'm Johnny Chase, and I still don't have an outro. I'll see you in the next one.